Australia's government won't confirm there is a refugee on hunger strike inside this Sydney hospital, nor that the Iranian refugee inside, Omid, is even in Australia.
This guy's 24, right? He's a 24-year-old who has told people very close to him that he is finished.
The protest outside is tiny. 7 people watched by police officers in 3 cars. That's as much about secrecy as apathy. Few know Omid's story. His sister was raped on Australia's refugee prison island of Nauru. In 2015, she was brought with her brother and mother to Australia for treatment. Omid's been locked in a Sydney detention centre ever since. His hunger strike is his protest.
Omid and his family aren't the only refugees to have been brought here from Nauru. The Australian government won't comment or give any numbers, but refugee advocates say they think about 340 refugees have been brought to Australia from Nauru or Manus Island.
Australia's government refuses to give what it calls a running commentary, so all the numbers in this report come from refugees or their supporters. What is known is that in 2013 and 2014, Australia deported about 2,500 refugees who had arrived on its shores by boat to prison camps in Papua New Guinea and Nauru. It said none would ever resettle in Australia. But some have been brought to Australia to give birth or for serious medical problems and then remained. Hundreds more have been paid thousands of dollars by Australia to return to their countries of origin, and 247 have been resettled in the United States after Donald Trump agreed to honour Barack Obama's favour to Australia's government, despite describing it as a dumb deal. But most sent to Manus Island or Nauru almost 5 years ago are still there. Iranians and Somalis make up more than a third of those, but since Donald Trump's so-called Muslim travel ban, none of them have been accepted for US resettlement. This week, Australia said those rejected would have to stay in Papua New Guinea or Nauru, despite those countries saying they don't want them.
We'll continue to look at third country arrangements. Believe me, DFAT, our department, have been working on this for a number of years. People aren't jumping out of their skin to provide places, and that's the reality.
Refugees on Manus Island are approaching 300 days of peaceful protest, but very few Australians know it. That's exactly what Australia's policies aim to achieve. Andrew Thomas, Al Jazeera, Sydney.